What is poppin' in my chop and my bagel bites? We're back with another deck profile. I'm about to just be known as the guy playing the Shining Sarc cards because I think these are really good. Like, they're being slept on. They're not being talked about right now. That is a shame because these are gonna go somewhere. I'm planning on probably taking this version to regionals this weekend. I'm feeling really confident with this. This has done really well over this past weekend in playtesting and at locals. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. There's a couple things I might change, and I'll talk about those as we go. But I'll go ahead and kind of talk about like the profile. So we're gonna start. We do play the 2 Gandora. I thought about bumping it to 3. I still might. It's one of the cards I'm still thinking about. I'm on the fence because when it goes, it's just so strong. Like, this card is so good, and just a free nuke in our format. And then, like, it can just swing, not even replaces itself, springs out an additional body, and, like, it's just huge. This card is really good. I definitely could see myself still bumping it to 3. I just keep going back and forth. It's definitely could happen. We got the 3 gadgets still. Searcher, Starter, just a really good card. Like, you wouldn't go less. I did bump Magician 0 to 2. There's a couple reasons for this. I kept going into situations where I wish I had an extra, and this one is cutting out the more marshmallow. So I did bump the silent count to 2. I don't think I want to put swordsman to 3 or swordsman to 2 as well. So I'm just playing the 3 names. I could see a world where I could bump the swordsman to 2, but I think since Gandora's at 2, I don't see myself going any higher than a count like this. Maybe side the more marsh. I could see that happening, but I think this is a good ratio for what this build is doing. We play the 3 Sarc, of course. I mean, it's the deck, Shining Sarc deck. You're gonna play 3. You need to. Yeah, it's not like Horus where they have, like, I think enough in-engine stuff where you could get away with 2 because it's not the main premise of the deck. You need 3 of this one. 2 Turn Silence. I mean, when it happens and you have it, like, this card is insane. Like, this is a free, non-targeting, just stop on, like, any monster effect of your opponents. So, like, if you already have the Shining Sarc plus literally any Shining Sarc monster, you're just negating. Or it's a battle phase stop, so against Tenpai, you're just like, oh, I just have an in-engine, just stop. Or if you have, like, discard it, so it's just in the graveyard, so it has that effect, and they go to attack, like, your Shining, or not your Shining, but your Magician. You just banish it, battle phase over, then you try to just kill him next turn with, like, Gandora or whatever, because this version actually has a few different routes. We got 3 Future Silence. I mean, another Searcher, good spell card. You can both potentially draw 6 in the battle phase. That actually came up twice this weekend. We were able to swing and then, like, pump our Magician up to, like, 4K, just, like, to swing in for game, because it happened a couple times. So no, I definitely think I wouldn't go any lower than this. I mean, it's just a really good card. Ties, it's the last part of the Shining Sarc engine. It's the one that special summons the 2 out from deck. If you have one targeting, it's literally Ties of the Brethren, but I mean, better specifically for this deck. I mean, it's just really good, and you don't have to pay any life points. So, I know some people are asking. I probably wouldn't go higher than 1. Like, if this was more pure of a version, like, if this deck gets more monsters besides, like, the Summon Skull and Dark Magician, because they don't work with this at all, because this only gets level 4s or lowers, I could see this going to 2, but as it is right now, unless we get, like, the Magnet Warriors retrained or something, or I don't know, some other weird Yugi card, maybe the Poker Knights, I just don't see this being bumped up any higher than 1. I think 1 of is fine. So yes, this is the Melodious package, and this overperformed. This stuff is insane, like, and I think it works even better in this deck compared to, like, some things this is being splashed in, because we have such, like, freedom of an extra deck, and, like, putting up, like, Vortex and Apo, and then, like, Magician 0, you just have so much control over the board. It's basically, and you still get to keep your battle phase, so you can OTK with Gandora, which is really nice, which was something I was missing out on with the Runic version of the deck. I still think the Runic deck is really good. I don't think I like it better than this currently. Maybe in a different format, and I really like the draws and the consistency, and the power of control you have over the game, and then like being able to hit like opponents' cards off the top of their deck to ruin their consistency a little bit can be really strong. I think right now this is better. I think the Melodious cards are too good not to play right now for this. I don't know if there's a better version yet. I've been experimenting with one other version of this deck that involves the Kashtira monsters, running a small Kashtira package with just Unicorn, Fenrir, and the one of Riseheart. And because that does come up because he's a level 4, and like so you can make some rank 4 plays, not have to waste your gadget body, so that can end on something as well. So there's some plays. If you guys want to see me work on that brew too, let me know down in the comments, because I definitely would like to get back to that. But yeah, I'll go back into this. We got 2 couplet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's what I've been hearing people call it. But we played 2 of these. Some people play 1. I don't think that's correct, because if you draw it, the whole engine just like doesn't work. That's not completely true, but like I think you almost have to play 2, and I still don't think it's bad. Plus, what's nice is these are scales for pendulum monsters, and yes, you can only with, I believe it's this one. Yeah, you can only pendulum summon light monsters, which is kind of fine because these are all lights. It's 1 through 9, and then so are your silent guys. Like, they're light monsters. So that actually comes up, and I think is really cool. Plus, another thing too, these are fairies. So even if you somehow end, and she's a 4, if you end on these guys too, like we do play, and it'll come later, like there can only be 1. You play so many different types of cards, like ending on a board of, because Apo like turns them into fairies, so you can keep that. So it's like Apo, Vortex, and then sometimes it's Tricolor, and the 2 guys. You can go further, but that's a lot of the time the turn 1 play. I think it's just really strong, because like then you like have just every type on board, and they have a hard time maintaining that themselves. Yeah, so it's a good thing this card is at 1. If this was higher, this would definitely be at 3 in the deck. I can't see that, but yeah, she's really good. 1 Concerto, won this one. The other common from LEDE. It's really good. Another fusion card. And then if it's in the graveyard, so if you get like nibbed during your combo early, once you drop like your absolute or your Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, you're getting to draw a card, plus it doesn't really stop your combo. So even if you get like, that's the thing too, like even if you open up the Ostinato and you like go through your combo with like these guys, and you go through, you still end on like full combo, because at the first point they can really nib you is the Absolute Dragon, and if they don't stop you at Absolute, you just get your Vortex anyway. So I just think that's really strong. I think it's really good. Plus you get the draw card then too. So you just keep. So this is like the only card that conflicts with Pot of Prosperity, which is why I think it's fine, because it's. I mean, it's not enough to conflict in my opinion. But no, Pot, like you need it for the consistency. You can see your Ostinato a bit faster. You can see your Shining Sark, any of your colors, your tricolors rather. Yeah, I think Pot is really good in this. I probably wouldn't cut it. You could play Extravagance, but with this version, you're playing too many monsters that you want to see in your extra deck. So I personally wouldn't. For hand traps, we're playing 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, 1 Called By, and then there can only be 1 as the 40th card. We're playing a flat 40. I thought, honestly, to bumping it to 42, because I would like to play Fender in this, but I'd rather have a bit smaller deck count to see the cards I want to see more, because there's not really a lot of bricks in this deck that I wouldn't want to see, because even opening up the Refrain, you can still like play off depending on what else you have in your hand. So then like after you just end on your Melodious combo, then you just play your Shining Sark stuff, and you just have a lot of advantage in the game. Because like also, yeah, if you end on like the both Silence, Vortex, Apo with 2 negate or more, and then I typically have turn Silence face down. I feel like that happened way more than once as a first turn board. And I feel like I did lose all but 1 dice roll in 5 rounds, but I got to go first 3 games. So I was curious about something. So I did get this Trident Dragon mat because I did get this Tenpai mat because I have Tenpai built, and I thought about playing Tenpai at the event, and then I was like, man, or not the event, but just locals. And I was like, man, but I really want to play the Melodious cards because I got those. So I ended up like switching last minute, but everyone thought I was on Tenpai because I was still at my Tenpai mat. So like 2 people let me go first. Thinking like, oh, well, I'll just let him play Tenpai because he's playing Tenpai. So, I mean, it wasn't intentional. So Konami, if you're listening, this wasn't intentional, like BMing, but it did work. Not advocating, but it did work. So now we'll go into the extra deck. We're taking 2 Baka Blast, the Mountain Dew Melodious Fusion. I mean, you need it for the combo. It's really good. You need 2. Yeah, I mean, it does a lot. Like, Melodious cards just do so much. 1 Exceed the Pendulum, it's part of the combo as well. Basically, these next 3 cards are all part of combo. Yeah, Exceed special summons the 4, and then you make the Apo with it. Odd Eyes Absolute, you overlay the 2 7s to make this, and then you just get Vortex out of it when it goes to the graveyard. You can even, like, because it was the same thing that Kashtira was doing, even where they would put Odd Eyes Absolute in the extra monster zone, and then link it off into Gravity Controller, and then it would, like, get you, you didn't get Vortex, but I guess you could, but it didn't really come up. But they would get the Odd Eyes Xyz Rebellion, where they can just like swing and then rank it up and like swing 3 times for 4K. So it's like it's a similar idea, but you're getting Vortex out of it, and since you play the Melodious Pendulums, you get like a couple Omni Negates. Plus you get Scales, which is kind of cool. Like I said, it comes up a little bit. We play the 1 Apo because, I mean, it's Apo right now. It's really good. Negates. We play 1 Selene. Yeah, you can make this pretty easily. You have a lot of spells in the deck, too, so you can get your monsters out. It can grab a couple different spellcasters, which is nice, too. Like your Silent Magician's also a spellcaster, so that comes up. It's more for ranking up, but you can go further. And then 2 cards are incorrect right now, but my friend are borrowing them, so I'll just say what they are. So this isn't... yeah, so that's Selene. But then my Black Cluster Soldier, this is Access Code Talker. My friend is borrowing my Access Code Talker for an event that he's playing at. But yeah, so this is, I mean, it's BLS right now in case I can't get back to him, but that's not correct. You want to play Access Code Talker. Access is broken. And then I have Typhon in here. This is probably going to become what is her name? The Light Charmer. I think it's Wind, or no, that would be probably Wind. That would make more sense. Lina? I think it's Lina. Whatever the link to what Light Charmer is, this would be her. I think that is more correct. This didn't really come up. Yeah, I had swapped it last minute and regretted it. There were a couple instances where I think that would have been a lot more helpful. So that would be, yeah, so this would be access code, and then this is Light Charmer. IP, I mean, it's IP. It's a good card. Real good card. Especially when you pair it with SP. It's really good. And then we have Super Poly targets, because we are playing Super Poly on the side, which I think could change. So we're playing Adagnister, Earth Golem, Draco's Tapelia, Mud Dragon, and Garua. I just think these are probably the most consistent Super Poly targets. Now, I will say that's part of the deck that I think I could see myself changing. Where is it? So we're playing 2 Super Poly in the side. This is the side deck. I don't think this is performing as well as it was last format. I don't think this is bad, but I just don't think it's doing enough. So honestly, what I've been considering doing, and I'm going to be playtesting this week to decide if I like it, is cutting some of these like extra deck guys out, like trimming the extra deck a little bit, and playing Melodious. I think this card is absolutely insane. I don't know if anyone is on a couple like the different Shining Sarcophagus groups online, but I was talking about this. I was messing around online with the brew that played like Winter Cherries, Melodious, and then the cash package with like Unicorn, and just like ripping extra deck cards. And it was actually pretty funny. And like the more I tested Melotronus, the more like this card just felt insane. So I might play sub some of these extra deck cards for Melotronus. Like probably maybe Bident would go in there, the Tempai guy, or it could be Trident Dragon too. Like either is fine, but probably Bident. Maybe a couple different like cash cards, or not cash cards, but like the rank 7 planet for cash, and then just like a couple more like that. This making Apo off this is so huge because you can either get rid of their Apo, but this is negating their Apo when you get yours. So yours is negated too. So like you activate this, they have Apo on board because that's a lot of people's end, like on a lot of people's end boards right now. You activate this, you get to play your own, negates both of them, and then you either can banish, or is it banish or send? Let me just make sure. Yeah, you banish both of them, or you can or you just have a Link 3 body for free. Or well, this is a 4, but like you just get this. So now you can do whatever with it. Ideally, like you can take it a bit further, but regardless, you just have like this big body where you can get rid of theirs and it's a negate. So I think it's a bit better than Ultimate Slayer right now, but there's definitely an argument for either. But I definitely could see myself swapping Super Polys for Melotronus because I definitely think it's really strong right now. Other cards we play in the side deck, I probably wouldn't change too much otherwise. I think everything else performed really well. Maybe some ratios on some of these, but I like how everything performed. 2 evenly and 2 D barrier, but we are playing 1 thrust. So my logic for basically the last year with thrust has been like, I can play some of these at 2 so I don't have to see them at 3, but if I need to see the second or even the first, depending on if we're going first or second, thrust helps get there. And I think that is really good. So it's helped like not have to play 3s of everything. I typically like 1 thrust. There's arguments for 2, but I think the side deck space is a little tight with this, so it's preference. I'm playing 2 Cosmic. This is another one where I'd like to see it bump to 3, but I like it at 2 because I sometimes hate seeing the 3rd, so it's back and forth. We play 3 Nib and 3 Shifter. Basically, we take out a lot of the I ended up siding out the Melodious cards, going second a lot of the time, and then like siding in like the Shifters and Nibs, and then depending on the deck, either the Super Polys or even the Galaxy Cyclones, or evenly with the Thrust. So that was typically the most of the siding patterns, was siding out those cards, and then like there can only be 1. I think the hand trap stayed in almost every game. Like I didn't see a reason to drop like any of these like 9. Called by I think always stayed in. Somebody was asking, a couple people were asking about like siding patterns, so stuff like that. Future Silence can sometimes be cut like to 1 or 2. Same with Turn Silence can like cut 1. The monsters very rarely got touched, but I guess you can depending on how many cards you want to side in. But yeah, but like there can only be 1. I think I only got to play it 1 game, and I mean it did perform. It's really good, but I think it was just the 1. But yeah, I probably wouldn't change too much about the side. Super Poly, maybe Melotronus, and then ratio something, maybe Nib to 2 to play a 3rd Cosmic, maybe a 2nd Thrust. But I think I like how this played a lot. But yeah, I'm really happy with the brew. I think this is how I'm gonna take it to the regionals. It's either this weekend or next weekend. I have to check again just to make sure, because I got a buddy of mine who should be good to go, so we might ride down. There's one in Detroit and then one in Columbus, like right after each other, so this is probably how I'll take it down. But I'll give an update if and when that happens. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked, hit that like and subscribe button. I got a lot of love on the Runic video that premiered with the Shining Sark cards, I think last week. So if you guys want to see more like this, or other ideas, or kind of like other decks, let me know down below. I love deck building. I might do an Edison video next. I've been working on a couple Edison decks because a buddy of mine's getting into it, and we might be hitting up like some cash tournaments and stuff. So if you'd like to see like different Edison brews, let me know too, because I absolutely adore Edison format. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much, and as always, see you later.